we've also talked about business communities. Third, wield that power for a rebirth of civic engagement. And I'll skip all of that because I've sort of talked about it. I'll say just this, that ironically in the era of information overload, the relative power of the individual conversation is significantly increased. Which emails do you read? The ones from people you know and trust. We need all of you to help, because what I think this country needs is a revolution.
Yeah.
Not of arms, but of ideas. Not of protests, but of systems. So how do you change the world? As I close, I must admit I'm not entirely sure. But I think at least takes several things. Persistence, calculated insanity, and the belief that other people are helping even if you can't always see them, and even if sometimes they aren't. A private in the military was walking around the base picking up any piece of paper he could find saying, that's not it. Any piece of paper, picking it up, you know, that's not it. Hundreds and hundreds of pieces of paper, that's not it. Until finally, you get this back. Until finally the commanding officer on the barracks referred him to the psychiatrist on the base, who determined the young man was deranged, at which point the private picked up his discharge papers and said, that's it. Persistence and calculated insanity. Also a belief that other people are helping. Man's driving down a country road, and to his bad fortune he crashes into a ditch. But to his good fortune comes along a farmer with a strong pulling horse named Buddy. And the farmer ties the horse to the car, and he says, pull, Betsy, pull. The horse doesn't budge. He says, pull, Bessie, pull. Still doesn't budge. The horse's name is Buddy. Finally, he says, third time, pull, Buddy, pull. And the horse very easily pulls the car out of the ditch. Now, the driver is very appreciative, and he says, sir, thank you very much, but why'd you call the horse by the wrong name? And the farmer said, well, you don't understand. Buddy's blind, and if he thought he was the only one pulling, he wouldn't even try. So why do we get together like this? We've got to be talking to the people who aren't coming to the meetings. But sometimes it's helpful to know that there are other people helping, even if you can't always see them, and even if sometimes they aren't. Because sometime it will be your own children, your own grandchildren asking you, where were you?
Yeah, that's right.
When polar bears were something out of not just Pixar movies. When there was still plenty of topsoil, where were you? When we had an education system built for a century ago at best, where were you? When we were figuring out a healthcare system for this century, where were you? And you'll be able to say we were here. When we were fundamentally redesigning the elements that govern ourselves, where were you? We were here. When we were figuring out a way to make both economic and social and environmental gains through building smart energy grids and smart climate policy, we were here. And I thank everybody here for being here. I'm done.